not really. Okay, the usual technical problems for me. Okay, hi, my name is Raf. I work in the red team. For those of you who don't know the red team or me, and probably there are quite a few because we are hiring like crazy, that's the composition of the team. So you see we have a trio of backenders, two petite product owners, they're French, Dita and Uri and Yanis. And we have two-thirds of the front-enders of the company, if I'm not mistaken. In proportion, yeah. Okay, so what we did this sprint, we work on a bunch of stories. Maybe the most important one is the cancellation option and the payment system. So what we did, we roll out the free cancellation option for tickets. So there's a possibility for a user to buy a ticket for a venue and cancel it before midnight of the day before the booking date. That's one thing, and we will go through them one by one. Another nice thing is the fixed non-conversion tracking issue on Abacus. That is me a blocker for many people. Anyhow, let's go in order. Cancellation option. You may already know what this is about. So we give the possibility to some users to buy a ticket for a venue and cancel it before midnight of the day of the booking. We already enabled this option. It's out, it's live. There are 7 products that already have this option enabled, and at the time being, if you are curious, we have more or less around 10 orders regarding this kind of products. So people are starting to use it. About the shopping cart, we did some experiments, and now we are thinking what we can do better. Basically, we want to double check if there is something that we can improve on the functionalities itself or on the user experience of the shopping cart because of the result we had in the last experiment. So for the next sprint, actually what we did already is to plan an A/B test for the shopping cart so we can understand if there is something to improve on the UI side or on the functionality side. We also worked on enabling the new payment system with Adyen for the reseller portal. So basically before we had the HPP, if you are familiar with that, and we replaced it with this new API integration with Adyen. That enabled us to have a better, like a cleaner code base because we can get rid of the old HPP integration module. And it was the last step before you can actually clean the code base. It's already live, so you can test it out. And then I would like to have Jans here to talk about the product page.
Just gonna hold it. Hello everyone. So as I showed a little bit last week, no, 2 weeks ago, we're working on the product page and especially on the design to solve these issues that nobody really can use this product page and find anything. So just to put it like, very open there. So we did some user testing to validate those ideas. We also discussed with some stakeholders here in the company. And so what we want to do and what I presented 2 weeks ago is that we want to actually introduce some tabs in this page and have kind of like the information more structured and to have a better wayfinding for it. But that's the second step. In the first step, what we want to do is just improve the clarity of information, make some typographic changes, and make the page a bit more clear and a bit more visible and easy to read. So I have a short demo here. You're not gonna see big detail, big differences, or you might not see anything at all. But generally what we try to do is have a first step, validate this, run an A/B test, see if anything is broken or if we hurt the conversion with the visual changes that we want to do. And once we see that that's fine and we can move on, we can implement the tab system that we're going to have. So it's basically kind of like the same page that we have right now, just really visual improvements. We also hope to you know, make this section a little bit better. So yeah, if you scroll through the page, you will see the same things, the date picker. So again, like some visual improvements in terms of like how the typography works, and yeah, just make it a bit more clear. So it's still this very long page, and it can get even longer if you have a lot more instructions and additional content, but still some things are more clear than before, or at least we hope so. So after we do this and we run this test, we're going to move on to actually implementing the version 2 of the product page that we want to build. And this is actually breaking all this, the overview, the venue information, the ticket information into separate tabs in the same page to see if it, works a little bit better and improve the usability. Yep. That's it. Back to Ralph. Mhm. For sure. Yeah, so we're already working on this more like simplified venue page version, but we first want to test some things on the product page because this is like a really critical place right now for the users. And once we validate some ideas there, making also this page a bit more easy to use, then we're gonna work on the venue page. Yeah.
Okay, another thing for this sprint was the A/B test. So we are using Abacus, and there were a couple of issues that we managed to fix this sprint. So maybe the most known one is the session tracking problem, and we also had a couple of new metrics. One is the basket paid event, so we can keep track of when a basket is actually fulfilled. That will make life easier for the data team. And for the next sprint, what we have in mind is to deploy the Apple Pay and Google Pay integration. We already had an investigation and we're working on it, so we believe we can deliver it this sprint. We also like to, as Yanis was saying, go out with a product page, the step one, and see how that is coming along. And the other couple of things we would like to work on is having a kickoff meeting to start working on the bundling. So tying more products together and let the user choose a bundle. So 3 venues together in one package. And that's those are the goals for the next sprint. Questions, comments, fears? Nothing? Okay. It's the design that we had. So we're going to implement it and have a new, product page. That's it. Okay. Thank you.
Next up, so we have a team logo. So if you don't know, this is who's in the blue team. We have one addition, which is Gagan Preet over there. You can see him. He's waving his hand. Gagan is joining our team as a backend developer. Unfortunately, Gaston is still out sick since he broke his elbow, but he's doing better, as he said. Um, so last sprint, we did a lot of small little things apart from marketing automation and region page. We activated Russian and Polish, for example, in tickets.com. We did the Savendis integration, small fixes on order source allocation, commission calculation, and mention me. So these are a few things that we did last sprint. So marketing automation, there's no really concrete stuff that I can share right now, but I hope I can share something at next sprint. Maybe we can show you some tests that we do or are planning to do at least. For now, the goal is for marketing automation is really to reduce cost of acquisition by automating campaign creation and management. The progress so far, so to be able to automate, we need a feed, and where the feed itself is almost done. So the next step is to actually connect that to the tool that we're using called Search Ads 360 and test if we can actually create campaigns from it. And after the test, then we'll start the evaluation optimization process. But this is roughly of where we are right now. So there's still a lot to do, which still will be the main focus of our team. And I hope we can share more next time. So other than that, I want to share what we did for Safendis. So we actually already have an integration with Safendis a while ago. What we did was actually to extend the integration and showing the banner for more users. So before, we would only activate the banner if you're in Dutch and you enter the Dutch phone number, for example. But now we show it to more users, and if you're in English language, for example, but you have a Dutch phone number, we assume that you understand Dutch, so we'll show you the Safendis Dutch banner, and then we're actually also tracking the performance to make sure that we're actually getting more orders from Safendis. We're testing it together with them. I'm in contact with Safendis to make sure that the integration is as what we have promised.
Sorry, the number of orders should go up because of the integrations in other websites where we are installing it, right?
Yes. So how Safendis works, Safendis is a voucher website, I would say. So you go to Safendis, you can see a list of websites with promotions. We are one of the websites that are in Safendis. So what we're showing right now is actually a link to their website where people could see more promotions. But we're also being linked from other websites. So people from other websites can go to the Safendis page, see the promotion that we have in there, and order from there. So it's a, yeah, how do you say it? Like, yes, cross-referencing. Oh, sorry. The question was afterwards. Yes. True. So the question was, so Martin is here. Here, I'll give you the mic.
Oh, can you hear me like this? Proper? Okay, you can. Can you hear me like? Can you hear me like this? Probably yes. No, like so Venice is a curated pool of e-commerce websites. So there are several type of websites. It can be people who will travel, or it can be travel sites, but it can be like quite broad, like Otto, which is a, I believe, German big e-commerce platform is also in it. Like some flower sites are in it, but also some travel related websites. The number of users, I believe it's 20 million, which they generate in total to this platform. So it's something with 29 million. Sorry for the. Yeah, and from that perspective, like from a strategy or strategical point of view, it's indeed like it's free traffic, which we get if people will claim these vouchers and will use it, and the CPO is much lower than other traffic sources. It's something we never done. We don't know how it will convert, but by not doing it, you don't learn. If we do it, we can validate this channel and learn if it's successful. If not, we know and we move forward. Yeah.
Thank you. Any other questions about Safendis? No? So it's a generic question. So the question was, so it's Luke's question. Yeah, I think in general we send a email. If I'm not mistaken, we send the email to for the customers to be able to download the app from the email confirmation that they received. And the second question was to cross sell, basically. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. So we show two types of banners on this page. We show the Safendis banner, which is one, and for the rest who's not in these countries, they will see the Mention Me banner, which is share with your friend and you receive 10% off. I hope that explains.
Sorry? Yeah, we're currently working on it. Arthur is working on it. Currently, we're going to run an A/B test. So the current situation is I mentioned a little bit about this in the previous sprint demo. So the current situation is we send a cross-sell discount code, 10% discount code, the day after your visit is complete at 7 a.m. It's going to stay as control group, and for the variant, we're going to try something different. We're going to show the discount code right at the checkout of the order confirmation page. We're going to see how it's going to affect the repeat orders. We're going to send that with an email. We're going to use Leanplum for this. And yeah. Jennifer?
Yes. I will leave it to your demo. How's that sound? Yes, but are you not going to show it in your demo? I'm just thinking about the time. Yeah? Next one, I'm going to show you a mobile design update that we did for the partner portals. The idea is to make it more mobile friendly for our affiliates or our partners who sign in through their mobile. And on top of that, to actually also update the reporting section that we have to make sure that we're showing more relevant reports. The idea is to not only use this design for the ticket agents, but also to share it with the affiliates and the future booking API portal. So it looks the same. It will just give out different data depending on which portal you're in. But the idea is to make it mobile friendly. Yes? Well, some of our affiliates are travel bloggers, so they don't really, yeah, so it's easier for them to also check it via their mobile. We also see some traffic from mobile, which is quite low, but knowing that our portals doesn't work on mobile, it also means that people will not check mobile if it doesn't work, right? Yeah, so that's the design. If you want to know more, come by and we can show you in detail. So in the next sprint, we also have lots of small tickets like designing the static links to improve SEO, integrating with Rakuten, for example. But these are the two main topics that we'll work on. So on marketing automation, we're adding keywords to the feed, and we hope that we can start sending the feed to Google so we can start testing and to finalize region page. Any questions? No questions from Luke? There you go.
How's our logo? What do you think? Too nice. Too nice? Too realistic? The credit goes to Tatsuya. Where's Tatsuya? Yes. He was the father of this idea. Okay, let's start. First of all, sorry for the state of my voice. I've been dealing with this cough, nasty cough. Yeah, I've been dealing with this nasty cough for over a week now. I can't seem to shake off. Sorry for that. These are the people of Yellow Team that you all know and love. The sprint goals of the sprint 22 for us. Our sprints are 2 weeks long compared to other teams. The first three 3D Secure 2.0 transition, gathering support emails, and mention get member program. I have slides for these, dedicated slides for these, so I'm not going to lose time on them right now. The abandoned checkout campaign, it's complete, the work that needs to be done on our part, on the client side and backend side. And Francisco is currently working with our team to start sending these notifications. And once the web part of this implementation is complete, we can also start sending these campaigns, payment expired emails based on the user's web behavior as well. A little bit recap maybe. This is we are trying to widen the scope of the number of people who will receive the payment expired emails. So it has the potential of doubling the number of orders that are being generated from these emails that we're sending. Product review collection. The app is currently not capable of collecting reviews for the products from the users. We are going to be adding this. The work is almost complete. And the app discount campaign, the infamous that we were just talking about right now, and the art is almost finished with the implementation. We need some changes on the front end, and hopefully we are going to deliver this in the coming sprint. Yeah, we had two big version releases in this sprint as well. 3.26 on 6th of November and 3.16 iOS release on 4th of November. I'm going to be discussing the contents of these releases as well in the coming slides. Gathering support emails. The users currently are capable of sending an email, originating an email from the app, from the options menu, or the review prompt that we recently revamped for Android. And once they pick the email or send feedback here, the email client of the phone opens up. We auto-populate certain areas like subject and the recipient email address. And it was previously it was customer service at tickets.com. So the emails that are originating from the app was kind of getting lost in the pool of all the emails that are ending up in customer service. So Hank came up with this ingenious idea. So we just added the Android and iOS part at the end of the email address. It still ends up in customer service tickets.com mailbox. But Vincent set this up today, and we forward if the recipient is this specifically with the Android one. We forward it to this email address mailing list that we are currently have access to as Yellow Team, so we can have this feedback channel specifically that are originating from the app, from the users. We are going to do the same. Currently, it's not. It's going to be released with 3.17. This changed we did for this, and the email list is being currently being prepared. If Branko is here, he's not, I guess. Yes. Okay. We were just talking about you. That's okay, don't worry. And the product page, I mean, Yanis also talked about this. We were also involved as the Yellow Team in the discussions. We did some user testing as well in Museum Plane to discuss, to evaluate what kind of changes that we need to do to make the content a bit more consumable for the user, because we are throwing a lot of information on this page. But we wanted to start small. Before that, we just first we kind of change the styling and the positioning of the title and the pricing that we show at the product page, and we start running an A/B test, and currently it's live. Hopefully in the next sprint demo we are going to share the results with you. Yes.
Is this aligned then with the design of mobile websites?
Yes. Yes. Sorry? The question was if this change we did for the variant of this A/B test was in line with the web design. And yes, Mariela was involved.
Do we have enough traffic on these screens in Android to have good results in A/B tests?
Yeah.
In general, should we not, well, depending on the further on the answer maybe, but should we also not spend a lot of time on actually getting more people in the app, right?
Yes.
Because these are all, I think also the feedback, right? I think it's nice, but I think our apps are already pretty good, and especially if you want to push as many people through them.
Mm-hmm. Of
So, what is your thought?
Of course, we have multiple initiatives to increase the number of users who are downloading, installing the app. I have a couple of slides about those as well. And whether the traffic is enough for us to validate these ideas, around like 40% of the users daily visits a product page. It might take a little bit more time, but we already ran some A/B tests and we got results for the nearby attractions we ran recently an A/B test. For what A/B test that we run? Yes, so we ran already like 4 or 5 tests, and yeah, traffic seems to be, you know.
But I think the point of mine also is, which we also struggle with, is that how do you decide when to A/B test or not? Because there's a lot of process around
Yes.
this time.
Yeah, the trigger for this was, okay, we are thinking of doing this whole revamp for the product page. So let's start small so we can see what actually failed before throwing in all the changes at once. Let's start small and whether if it's going to fail and specifically what failed.
Yeah, I'm opting for sometimes doing it big because, like I said, I think there are really small changes.
Mhm.
It would be interesting still to see a change, just to measure it. But in terms of what will move the needle, I think it would be interesting times of initiatives, especially.
What do you mean? Sorry? Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but this part is the same. This part is taken from the new design. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. The new increments would be a little larger, not really small changes like this. Any more questions? I'll get to the next slide. Mention Me was an initiative that's live for quite a while now. Martin is here. And the emails and the footer on the web page, if I'm not mistaken, only entry channels for these. Now we added the app also in the options menu as a new outlet for the users to enroll for this program. It's been delivered with the 3.26 and it's going to be in the 3.17 release for the iOS as well. I wanted to share this slide specifically to include this image. We've been talking about this for a while now, 3D Secure 2.0 transition that came with the PSD2 regulation and the strong customer authentication requirements that came with it. It's been a rocky process, to say the least. And we've been a lot of problems with the Adyen, some of the lack of the instructions to test certain payment methods. So it was kind of blocking the release of iOS as well, because we've on top of that we worked on several new features, but the fact that we weren't able to deliver Adyen was blocking the release of those new functionalities as well. Hence, the Tatsuya's depiction of this this new release, IGN release, yeah. Android is already complete with this release, and now iOS joined the ranks. These are all the things that we've delivered, and just one slide I prepared for a sneak peek. The top 10 highlights. We thought of sending a notification to the users a day ahead of their visit to the venue with a content like, okay, these are the top 10 highlights or top 10 art pieces that you really need to see at the venue during your visit. And luckily, Rachel and her team, along with the content team, apparently already started preparing these kind of contents for the blog. So we are going to send a notification. We're going to start small. We're going to start with the Vatican museums, the users, the customers who purchase the product for the Vatican Museum's venue as a venue. And we are going to send a notification that once tapped will open this blog page. And we are planning to scale it to the 10 venues. And this 10 venue has the potential of covering 20% of all orders. So 20% of all orders, these customers are going to be receiving a notification at ahead of their visit. Yes.
You open the notification, they go to the web browser or they go inside the app?
Web browser. We are going to start small. Let's see if it's going to be a hit or not. And in the coming increments, we are going to evaluate whether this should be native, whether we should add this information before the purchase, not waiting to be a day before their venue visit, to see how it's going to affect the purchase decision, maybe. But we're going to start small, experiment. Let's see if it's going to be a hit or not at this point. Yes. Sorry, can you repeat? I'm kind of lost. Sorry. Yes. So it's app is going to function. App is going to function as a messenger at this point, in the form of notification. But like I said, if it's going to take off, we are going to evaluate the options like making this as a native development, native implementation within the app. How many people are going to engage with it? Like how many people were eligible of receiving this notification? How many people actually placed an order for the Vatican Museum? And how many people actually interacted with that notification? That's going to be our metric, but it's kind of tough to see, okay, it should be 10% or 20%. It's kind of tough at that point. And maybe we can talk about this with Rachel as well to see the blog's actual the traffic numbers at the moment. That can be a reference for us to compare maybe. But yeah, you're right. You have a point. Any more questions? I think this was my last slide. Ah, no, I have one more slide, but yes. You say it's already there or will be there? Yeah. I think yeah, in the new product the page design for the web, I think it's there. Yeah, I saw that. Just before their visit. Yeah, just before their visit. Yeah. And the next sprint goals, we are going to add 2 new filters. The kid-friendly and wheelchair accessible. Kid-friendly, so that the overall the out of all the tickets sold, around 10% are kid or the young variants. So this can be valuable in terms of that. The kid-friendly filter that will filter the products that has that tag in the back office. The top 10 highlights notification that I just talked about. Special offers implementation. We are going to start showing a new carousel on the city pages. That's we are currently selling 10% or off or more off from the pre-discount price for all the cities that we have. And the app discount campaign, again, the one that I mentioned in the previous sprint demo, and this one. This was my last slide. If you have any questions. No? Thanks then. It should be like this?
Yeah, so that